La 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 la, wait till I give my money right.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have Fartcoin up on the screen here, the 1 week price chart. I don't own any of this. It was a request from the Quantum Circle group, so I'm going to share it over here on X for you guys. I have the waves drawn out. All right, these blue waves are kind of a longer term count, macro count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going back. We had 5 waves down. If I broke it down past the weekly, you'd be able to see these a little bit more, but to get the whole picture, it's just easier here on the weekly chart. This thing has only been around since October. All right, so right before the Trump pump is released, honestly, at the perfect time. And then this thing ripped up from its inception point 17,000%, right? So that was a big move there. Obviously, we came back down, but strength wise, it's up here kind of in the middle. And what we're looking at now is these green waves or subwaves, okay? So what we're looking at now is a 1. Right now, we're working on 2. And like we're talking about across the board in the market right now, we're looking for 3, 4, and 5. So these blue waves. If I broke these down into smaller time frames, you would see 5 wave counts in the green. All right. If anything, what this shows is right here, October 21st to the top, January 13th. That's 3 months that this thing went 17,000%, right? So when we're talking about 10x's on a lot of these coins and stuff in a short amount of time, like look how quickly these waves can move, right? So although this may have taken 6 months, this could take 3, this could take 2, right? It can happen really quickly. So I just want you guys to understand that before we dive in too deep here. So, okay. First things first, I want to show you guys on the way up on waves 1 and 2 exceeded the 4.236 fib. So that range was closed out. Macro 3 to 4 here on the way down, we exceeded that. All right, cool. So the next range we have to close out is up here at the macro 5 and down here. All right, just like that. Is this? Yeah, I'm confusing myself there. Okay. So what we're looking at now is another wave here. And on the larger time frame, what this could be doing is we have the 1, a macro 2. We're talking about this target here for 3. We can come back down for 4, and we can go for 5. That could be what we're looking at here on like the not decade, this isn't even that long, but like multi-year count. That's what we could be looking at. Something else we could be looking at is a macro A, B, C, and then we start 5 waves down this way, right? It could be either or. We're not sure yet. We won't know that much more until the bear market comes. But what we do want to find out today is where are these waves 3, 4, and 5 going, and how does math help us get there? Now, before I do that, guys, join the Quantum Circle 2 daily macro videos, entries, exits, strategy, private Discord. There's a whole lot more. Link to that is in the bio. But guys, we've been nailing the macro moves here for Bitcoin and Ethereum, which are the biggest indicators for any of your alts. It doesn't matter what alt you're in. You got to know what the macro is doing. And our group has been pretty locked in, and they've gotten some great buys on their alts because of it. So check that out. All right, back to Fartcoin. Next thing I want to do is pull down this wave 1 and wave 2, and I want to see a full extension of that, because oftentimes in alt season we can at least go the measurement of that move. That's not very far though. All right, and this thing has shown a lot of strength going back to March, especially compared to a lot of the market. A lot of the market didn't make it up as high. Some coins are off and have beaten that new high, but not quite yet for Fartcoin. So I do see though that up here at the 1618 in a full extension of this range, I do see a little bit of confluence around that 450 area. So up here, that could be a very logical place for us to top out here on our 3rd wave. Right about in here. All right. The other reason that that's important, oops, that's not the one I want to get rid of. The other reason that that's important, or more confluence, is typically in this, we'll break out of that high up to the 1618, and then we'll come back down to back test either that high, or sometimes we can even drop into here. We see with wave 1 being there, it could even come as low as the 618 here. Okay, so that's what we want to figure out now. Typically in this 4th wave drop here, you're looking at a 35 to 50% correction. It depends on oftentimes the size of the altcoin. So this is just shy of $1 billion. That's a decent size. So you're probably looking at the low 40s for the amount that it would drop. And again, we have to generalize, but we can adjust it as we go. Going just back down to that high is about 37%. Back down here to the 786, you're seeing more 50. All right. The other thing I noticed though is we had some candle closes happen just about at that level. So that could come in as a nice area of support. So for now, we'll say that it dips down to that 786 right around 220. We also want to keep in mind though that this could be some support coming in at that former high, and it could end up stopping out here. All right. What I'll say is, for this being a younger asset with not as much data, oftentimes, especially in the third wave here, or the C wave, whatever we're talking about for this, right on the macro, you're going to go the full extension. All right. The other thing that I can do is I'm going to look at a full extension of this first wave here. You can see that that gets us up about the $6 level as well. Okay. But the way that this is with how young it is and the way these move in third or C waves, either way, you're going to get a little bit of gas here. And based on where we're at currently within the market, across the board, we're looking at like 10x returns on a lot of coins. Well, this is about an 11x return all the way up at its full extension, and that would put it at about a $10 billion market cap, $11 billion market cap. Very plausible for this coin, all right? The other thing, too, is just kind of see how fibs work on this first wave, first to second subwave. Look, we topped out here at the full extension of that, right? So that's why now we're talking, looking at this, a full extension of that top out for this next wave right up there, okay? And then if this thing did drop down like so from that third to fourth wave, you could pull fibs there and look at that. I didn't even plan that. Sheesh. Didn't even plan that. If that's our third to fourth wave drop, a full extension of that is a full extension of the whole range. So if that doesn't sell you on $11, I don't know what will, man. That's about it. That's what I got for you. And that just makes too much sense. So we'll know more as this third wave really gets kicked off here. If our coin's still kind of, as of this week, set a new low. Obviously some good news coming out today. It's up 10% on the day. But yeah, man, feel really good about that, guys. Really good. Again, like I mentioned, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, portfolio access, 2 macro videos daily, the Discord channel, and I teach you how to do TA just like me. Link to that is in the bio, but this kind of stuff with fibs and Elliott waves, it's so important. And like I said, the macro, the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, the dominance, we're looking at that stuff every day. You don't have to worry about each of your alts individually if you're paying attention to the macro. So that's what I got for you over there. If not, if you could follow, like, repost, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Just want to reach and help as many people as I can before it's too late. So hope you guys are having an awesome Friday. I'll talk to you later.